Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special edition here at UCTV. I'm William Richardson. We're here alongside the two-time national champion, defensive extraordinaire, Kiah Stokes.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be called a two-time national champion?
It feels amazing. A lot of people don't understand how much hard work we put into, the season. To do it 2 years in a row, I think it's incredible. It's definitely hard work, but, winning at the end of the season makes everything worth it. No matter what struggles you went through all year, it's definitely worth it.
Definitely. Now, last year, you guys had Notre Dame on your bags. Everybody was comparing you to. You had Skylar Diggins. This year, you guys faced Notre Dame again in the national championship. What was so different about the tournament run this year compared to last year?
I think we were more confident this year. Obviously, we went the whole regular season without losing a game, so I think we had a lot of momentum, and we played really well together as a team, I think. And I think, going into the tournament, we're just, we knew we deserved it, especially, with everyone getting hurt or sick throughout the season. I think we really knew that we earned it. We deserved to be there, and we really wanted to beat Notre Dame because it's Notre Dame, we have to win.
Now, you mentioned everybody getting injured and sick. Out of the 40 games, you played 39 this year. And in the games, when I watch you play, you're fairly consistent. You stay in your game, you control the post, you're great on defense. So how do you manage to stay consistent game in and game out?
Well, the one thing I want to work on, since last year is just being more consistent. Coaches always told me, I'm not going to play if I don't trust you, and you earn trust by, being consistent. So I know for me personally, I can go in on defense, block shots, get some rebounds, contest shots, that sort of thing. So as long as I do that every day of practice, he knows he can trust me to do that every game.
Now, this year, your junior year, next year you'll be a senior. This year's senior team, well, seniors on the team, you have Stefanie Dolson, Bria Hartley. Can you talk about the leadership that they provided and what it means to have them as teammates?
They're both great people on and off the court. I know personally with Steph, she's kind of my role model because, she's my same position, but she worked hard every day of practice and every game, and I could see the trust that she was building with Coach, so I hope that, this summer and preseason I'll earn that same trust with him. And Bria, she's just a great leader. She doesn't say much on the court like Steph does, but her actions speak way louder than her words because she always works hard and she's always, she wants to win so hard and she's so competitive. So with her on the court and Stefanie, those two together, it's definitely a great team. So next year we're really going to miss them, but we got some people that are going to step up.
Now, watching them on the court this year, they got drafted together in the WNBA draft back-to-back. Bria Hartley got traded. Now she ends up on the same team as Steph as friends and as roommates. So going into this summer without them, what are some of the adjustments? You mentioned being consistent. So what are the other adjustments that you have to make going into next season?
Like personally or like as a team?
Personally.
Personally, I have to be more offensive-minded. I know one thing I could do is defense, but, with Steph gone, she averaged, about 13, 14 points a game, so I definitely can add that. And just gives, our team another option to score. And we have some great guards coming in, and I know that, Bria and Sanaya are really going to step up for next year also. So I think if everyone just does a little bit more than they did last year, we'll be in great shape. But there's always room for improvement. Steph and Bria weren't perfect, and neither are we. We just got to take it one step at a time and just try to chip away at what they contributed.
Of course. Now, looking back on your career, when you were a senior in high school, you had great numbers, 25 points, 14.8 rebounds, 5.1 blocks per game in Martin in Iowa. So how was it coming from being the star player of the team or one of the star players on your team to coming to UConn where you're coming off the bench or you're being a role player and your role is really minimized?
Yeah, it was hard at first, because, in Iowa I was a star. I was a go-to person. So coming here, you don't realize how great everyone is around you. At my high school team, I was it. It was just me, and I could do whatever I wanted. But here, you really have to learn to play as a team, and you might not get to score all the points or do everything that you used to do, but as long as you fit into what the team needs, I think that's what makes UConn great because people, you're going to get your points or rebounds or blocks or whatever, but as long as you know what your role is on the team and everyone brings their role every day, I think that's what makes us a great team, and Coach does a great job of, preparing individual people for what they need to do.
Now, you talked about Gino preparing everybody. How exactly does he do that? Because he's a magical coach. I've seen him in practice. I've seen him make in-game adjustments, and the way he's able to coach, it's just magical. So what exactly, from being a player, what exactly does he do to motivate you guys to play as a team?
I think he makes it clear, what your role is. Obviously, he doesn't want me out there shooting, 8 threes a game and that kind of thing. So if you do something you're not supposed to, he'll be like, Kiah, what was that? Like, why did you decide to do that? And you're just like, what, that was dumb. I don't know why I did it either. What happened again? But also, if you're doing things that are great, he's like, keep doing that, more of that. We need more of that. So he's really encouraging, but he'll let you know, when things aren't going your way and you need to, stop and try something else. But he's always encouraging, but he'll let you know.
Now, on the court, Gino, he's kind of that nonchalant kind of coach. He tells you when something's, at least from watching the games, he looks kind of nonchalant. He makes his adjustments. Sometimes he gets kind of fiery. But after the championship game, he got a little bit emotional. We saw him get choked up on national TV.
Yeah.
So what did it mean to you to see Gino react that way?
Reinforce the idea that he is a human. He's not just a psycho coach.
Aren't we all?
I'm just kidding. He's not psycho, but he's very intense. It just shows how much he cared for Steph and Bria. When they're leaving, they've been a big part of this team their whole 4 years they were here, and they've really had a great connection, all three of them together. But he is a softie sometimes, so it's good to know that when your time comes and you've done all you could do for Connecticut, he really cares about you, and it's going to be hard to let see them go. But he wishes the best for both of them. And hopefully they do well in WNBA. We're all going to be cheering them on. I know he will too.
Now, seeing Bria and seeing Steph leave, you're going to be the senior next year. You're going to be the main center because you had Dolson last year. You have Stewie. She's going to be a junior next year. So what do you want your legacy to be defined as? Because we see Stefanie Dolson. She's kind of the fun, kind of goofy one. Bria Hartley's the serious one. She's focused pretty much all the time. Yeah. So what do you want your legacy to be when you graduate?
I haven't really thought about it. I just want people just to know me for who I am. I'm sarcastic, I can be funny, I can be serious, but, I want people to know me for what I can do on the court as well. I don't want to be that player that was, oh, that's Kiah, yeah, she did all right. I want to, have a lasting impression, and I want the coaches to, invite me back to come practice with them like they do with Kalena Green and Tina and Maya and, Sue. They would all come back and practice, and they would just, still be a part of the UConn program years after they've gone. So I want to, be involved in that and just not be one of those people that like, oh, she left and, we'll never see her again. So I just want to have that lasting impression that, I'll be a UConn Husky forever.
Well, I personally think you're going to do it. You're a great person on the court and off the court.
Thank you.
So getting a little bit off the court, the men's team, they also won the national championship, and you guys were in Nashville. Talk about your reaction when you were watching the game, because I'm pretty sure you were just as excited as we all were here.
Yeah. Well, we were watching it in the lobby of our hotel, the championship game, and it was me, Steph, Mariah, Stewie. We're just down there. We started doing the UConn Huskies cheer. There's all our fans there. And, sometimes our fans are on the older side. So they were getting into the game, which is crazy. They were yelling at the TV. It was just, it was a great environment because they were so happy. We were so happy. And once they won, we knew that, like, we could do something special. We just got to make sure we take care of business the next day. And, we did it. And, having both the men and women win the same year, twice, especially for UConn, they did it in 2004. I think it's incredible, and it's something that, you'll never forget.
Right. Now, you mentioned the dual national championships. So is that your favorite moment here at UConn?
I think it's definitely up there. There's so many great things that happen, but, basketball-wise, with all the struggles the men have gone through and then all the struggles we had this year, I think both of us finishing the season out right, it's definitely, it'll be up there forever, in my mind. And I don't know if it'll be the top one, but it's definitely, top 3, I'd have to say.
Okay. So now we're going to get a little bit, not personal, but just a little bit off basketball related. Now, as you mentioned before, you can be funny, you're sarcastic. So now talk about the chemistry that the team has off the court, because you see the pictures on social media and you guys seem to be having a blast all the time. Talk about that.
We love our teammates and we'll die for them. I'll die for any one of them. They'll die for me. It's just something we have, and one thing the coaches have always said is, basketball is one thing, but if you can't get along off the court, it's going to transfer on the court. So, he doesn't like force us to get along, but he wants us to be a team on and off the court, and I think we've really embraced that. And we learned so much about each other that we've never known. Who would know that Mariah could actually sing really well? It's just
what?
Yeah, like she's a great singer. It's just stuff like that where you never think of it, but that's the way it is. And room together, freshman year through senior year, we're one of our teammates. So it's great, and we love everyone, and we just always have a great time.
Now, what's your experience at UConn? Is far from over, but if you had to have one word to describe your time here at UConn, what would it be?
Oh, gosh.
You can take your time.
Basketball related or non-basketball related?
Both.
Or just
both.
All together? I would say it's an adventure. or roller coaster, either one. You know, I've had my
All
ups
right.
and downs. I think everyone has, especially coming from, well, basketball-wise, coming from like being a star and then kind of being a role player. So I've had my ups and downs, but you know, I wouldn't trade it for the world, and I don't want to get off this ride. It's an amazing feeling, and I know Steph and Bria, especially right now, I think they leave today and tomorrow to go to training camp for the WNBA. So I see how they're stressed, but they're excited, and they don't want it to end either. So you know, I'm kind of getting that feeling like next year, you know, I'm hopefully going to be in their same spot. So it's, you know, it's kind of exciting and nerve-wracking, but you know, being at UConn and being involved in all this Husky Nation, you don't want it to end, but you know, eventually it does one day. But you got to make the most of it.
Now, you've summed up the experience great. I probably couldn't put it in any better words. Now, can you just talk about the fans? Because the fans here are crazy. Some of the fans, we should say, are crazy. And you're right, UConn does have a lot of older fans, but can you talk about what it means to play in Campbell and to play in Excel and represent UConn?
I think it's incredible, and it's great that our fans support both the men and women's. At some away places we play, the women's games, they probably get 200 fans. And they, you know, we kind of get stunned, like, this is it, like, this is, you know, all they have. Because we have such a great fan base. They come to our games at, you know, in Gamble and Excel. So it's, you know, we're lucky to have such great fans that support the women's team just as much as the men's. But, you know, to play in the UConn uniform, it's something, you know, you can only dream about as a kid. You know, you never actually understand what it's like until it happens to you, which it's a great feeling, and it's something you can never trade.
Now, growing up in Iowa, coming to Connecticut, I don't know if it's a huge culture shock, but can you talk about what it was like when you first came here? I know that was 3 years ago, but can you talk about the personal adjustments that you had to make with coming from Iowa, coming to Connecticut?
I think the biggest difference in Connecticut, there's a lot more trees, whereas in Iowa, there's a lot more farms. I don't live on a farm. I just want to get that straight. I don't live on a farm. I live in a nice city. It's, you know, it's good. But I think the biggest thing is that stores is in the middle of nowhere, I think. Like, you have to drive 15 miles or 15 minutes to get to an interstate. I think that's crazy. You know, whereas I live, you can drive 5 minutes, you're on the interstate.
Right.
So as far as, you know, what to do and that kind of thing, it's not much of a difference. You know, you still got to drive at my home, like, you know, 20 minutes to get to a mall, and restaurants aren't really the closest thing. But I think just the campus is so secluded, it's definitely different.
All right. Now, go ahead and wrap this up. What's one thing that the student body and the viewers at home don't know about you that you think people should know about you?
Well, I know my teammates know this, but I'm a great ping pong player. So if you want to battle, let me know. I'm down to battle.
Well, we have another year, so I might take you up on that challenge. I'm not good, and I know you got the wingspan, so you might hit me in the face with the ping pong ball, but that's all right. It's all fun and games. But that wraps it up for us here at UCTV. I'm William Richardson alongside our guest star, Kiah Stokes. Thank you guys for watching.